Let me tell you something that most people do not usually hear. You don't need a gym membership. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need a 6-day workout routine. You don't need motivation, and you don't need to wait until Monday. What you really need is one thing, and that is the truth. The truth about what actually makes your body lose fat. Because the truth is, you could lose 20, 30, 50 pounds without touching the treadmill if your nutrition is on the right track. And when I say I lost 50 pounds without working out, I mean exactly that. No intense routines, no gyms, none of that. Just straight nutrition changes that forced my body to let go of excess weight. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed or embarrassed to go to the gym, or even like you just cannot do this, then this video is going to be the one that changes everything for you. I'm going to walk you through every single nutrition change that actually works in the real world. Not the social media version of weight loss, but the real sustainable version. And this is the method that you can start today, so let's just jump right into it. Before we get into it, I want to welcome you back to my channel. My name is Kayla, but everybody likes to call me KayFitt. I'm a certified personal trainer. I post daily fitness content, and I'm here to help you get the body, the confidence, and the discipline that you have been praying for. But today's video is different. Today I'm giving you the truth that most fitness trainers do not want to say on camera. They want you obsessed with workouts, they want you buying supplements, and they want you thinking that you need a gym membership in order to be successful. But fat loss is 80 to 90% nutrition. And I'm going to show you exactly how to make nutrition simple so that way you never feel lost again. Most people are not overweight because they're lazy or because they're undisciplined. Most people are overweight because they're just confused. Confused because there's so much contradicting information out there. They're confused by a bunch of diets that work for 3 weeks, but then they fail by the 4th week. Confused by the calorie calculators that just do not match their real life. And so many people online trying to sell people quick fixes. So before we get into the exact changes I made, I need you to understand one thing clearly. Your body loses weight when it is consistently in a calorie deficit, period. End of the story. You don't have to count every single calorie forever, but you do need to understand that every bite of food, every drink, every condiment, every snack has calories attached to it. And the moment you get awareness of that, you literally take your power back. I remember when I first realized how simple weight loss actually is. I felt like I had been lied to the whole entire time because I pretty much had. The second that I actually started paying attention to what was going into my mouth, my whole body changed. And I want that light bulb moment for you too. So in this first section, I'm going to give you the exact mindset shift I had to make before any changes I could see on my body. The first thing I did was I stopped lying to myself about my eating habits. I stopped saying I barely eat. I stopped making it seem like I didn't snack as much as I actually did. I stopped acting like what I drank didn't count. And I stopped telling myself that I could just fix a bad diet with a bunch of workouts. Once I got brutally honest with myself, everything else started to become simple. Weight loss is very, very hard when you are just guessing, but weight loss is very easy when you are self-aware. When people think losing weight without working out, they expect a special tea, a magical detox, or some superfoods. But honestly, the truth is way more boring. The number one change I made was cutting out liquid calories. I didn't even realize how much I was drinking my calories until I actually sat down and opened my eyes. Sweet teas, frappes, caramel iced coffees, sodas, energy drinks, extra creamers. I used to drink hundreds of calories every single day without even realizing it. And those calories, yeah, they hit your bloodstream. And when I say they do it fast. It spikes your blood sugar fast, and it gets stored as fat fast. So I made this one simple rule. If it's not water, 0 calorie or low calorie, I do not drink it. That one rule probably accounts for 20 pounds alone. I went from drinking 300 to 600 calories a day to drinking literally 0 to 20 calories a day. That one shift put my body in a deficit without me even trying. If you only even have to change that one thing, I promise you your weight will move, especially your bloating. Most people do not need to cut out foods, they need to cut down their portions. I had no idea what a true serving size even looked like. And no, it was not because I was just some greedy person. It was because I genuinely just didn't know. Restaurants overfeed us, takeout overfeeds us. Even our families overfeed us. So I made one rule that actually saved me. I started eating off of smaller plates. I didn't meticulously weigh every single thing. I did not obsess over it. I simply made my visual portion smaller. And the good thing is I was still full. I still enjoyed my food. I just was not overeating by accident anymore. Portion control is what will save your life, not starving yourself. Just be aware of how much you are actually consuming. I'm not anti-food, I'm not anti-carbs, I'm not anti-anything. But I am anti-mindless eating, so maybe that was a contradicting statement. And certain foods make it way too easy to overeat without noticing. So here are some foods that I cut and minimalized to make my weight drop drastically. The first one is bread. Not because bread is evil and you should stay away from it, but it was because I was eating it constantly. Toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, garlic bread with my dinner. It was honestly just way too much and was causing me a lot of bloating. Second thing is fried foods. Frying adds hundreds of extra calories that do not fill you up. I switched to air fried or baked and I instantly noticed the difference. The third thing is sweets that I was not even really craving. Not the sweets that I actually wanted. I'm talking about just the random cupcakes at work. You know when people just randomly give you things and you're like, you know what, it's there, so I might as well eat it. The things that you just see and say, okay, it's here, so I have to finish it. You know that feeling when you go grocery shopping and all of a sudden the next day all the food just magically disappears and you're like, who did that? And then you look around and like, wait, I did that because it was there. And I'm like, since it's there, I gotta eat it. Yeah, I had to cut that out. Once I cut out those 3 things, I was not perfect yet, but I was aware, and awareness matters way more than being perfect. Like I said, snacking was not my issue, but mindless snacking was. Most people do not gain weight from meals, they gain weight from the things that they forgot they even ate. A handful of chips here, a couple cookies there, you know, you might think it's just harmless. But trust me, girl, it all adds up. So I made one change that solved everything. I stopped grazing, you know, grazing with your eyes and seeing it's there and just grabbing it. I stopped doing that. If I wanted a snack, I put it on a plate and I made it into a real portion. I stopped eating out of the bag. I stopped just grabbing random snacks out of the pantry. That really made me so aware of how often I was actually just snacking out of boredom and just emotional eating. And honestly, most people aren't even hungry. They're restless, they're tired, they're emotional. Or honestly, just used to always chewing on something. A lot of creators overcomplicate a calorie deficit just to sound smart. But I'm going to explain it to you in just 2 simple sentences. You lose fat when you consistently eat fewer calories than your body burns. And your body burns calories every single day just by existing. But here's where people get it wrong. They assume that eating less automatically means you have to starve yourself. And that is just far, far from the truth. Let me explain it again in a way that keeps you sane. Your body burns calories by breathing, digesting, thinking, walking, existing. So even if you are laying in a bed all day, your body still uses energy. You don't need a gym, you don't need an intense workout routine, you don't need to eat less than 600 calories a day. You just need to eat a little bit less than your maintenance. And the easiest way to do this is what I did. Cut liquid calories, control portions, cut back on high calorie snacks, eat actual meals, add veggies, and make sure you are drinking water. A deficit is really not punishment, it's just having structure. And speaking of structure, I'm going to give you the structure of a day in eating in my life. For breakfast, it would be something light with protein. Maybe some eggs, a yogurt bowl, fruit, or oatmeal. I didn't skip breakfast, but I didn't make it some huge buffet either. Lunch would always be a balanced plate. Protein, carbs, and veggies. A bowl-style meals helped a lot because they limited my portions. I had one structured snack in the afternoon, maybe fruits, popcorn, protein bar, or just a small treat. And dinner was my most satisfying meal of the day. It was always protein heavy and veggie heavy with a small carb portion. My water intake, I made sure to keep a bottle of water with me all day. Drinking water kept me from mistaking my thirst for hunger. This is the part that nobody expects me to say as a trainer. I avoided the gym on purpose while I was losing weight, and I will attest to saying that one of the reasons why I probably did this is because it was around the time where COVID was first starting, so I didn't really want to be in a packed area anyways, and most of the gyms were closed off. But I also did not want my success to depend on something that I did not feel ready for yet. I did not want my consistency to be dependent on a place that I did not feel comfortable in yet. Whether that be because I just didn't feel comfortable in my body, or whether that be because I just didn't feel comfortable being around people during COVID-19. I also want to add, I know this video says without working out, and yes, that is great, but I'm also a proud advocate of saying moving your body is amazing. So while you don't have to do intense workouts, you could always walk outside. I always suggest that. You could always maybe do like even 5 jumping jacks a day. Little things like that. You don't have to, but I always recommend walking. If you're not doing any other form of working out, I always like to recommend walking because moving your body has other benefits other than just losing weight, okay? It can help with your heart health, just your heart health overall. So I always like to just throw that in there to people so I don't misguide you guys into thinking I don't want to do any type of movement. No, movement is great. You just do not have to do the strict overworking yourself that you see so many people on social media trying to push out your way. And we made it to the end of this video. So if this video helped you, please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.